Hello, welcome to the 2011 through 2012 NFL regular season schedule Week 9 picks. We're going to start off between the Jets at the Bills at 12 o'clock Central Time on CBS. This game has huge playoff implications for both teams as the result has an impact on the race for the AFC East division title as well as for wild card playoff seedings. Conference record is one of the tiebreakers. I think the atmosphere in Ralph Wilson Stadium is going to be intense, which will help the Bills spill more bye-week cobwebs into the New York Jets. At the end of the day, it is going to come down to Fitzmagic making some big plays in the passing game while the defense finds ways to neutralize Sean Green. I am taking the Bills in what is going to be a very physical game. Bills 21, Jets 17. At 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox, it's Seattle at Dallas. Since Seattle may very well have trouble establishing a consistent ground game, the offensive line has to protect Jackson adequately, and the erratic quarterback must be quick in his decision-making. The Seahawks will have quite a tough task in slowing down DeMarcus Ware, the one defensive player on the field who can take over a game and simply can't allow him to do so. Last week, Tony Romo and the Cowboys were awful versus the Eagles, but this week against the inept Seahawks, they should rebound nicely. Romo and the Cowboys should be able to throw on the banged-up Seahawks secondary, and DeMarco Murray should have a decent day on the ground. It would be a shock to see the Seahawks hang around here. Cowboys 24, Seahawks 6. 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox, it's Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Who would have thought we'd have a thumb story for the Buccaneers this week? He still claims he has a jet lag hangover from London. Sheesh, what's wrong with that kid? He has had 2 weeks to get over that. Freeman better be over the jet lag, same for the rest of this team. What you have on Sunday is a very, very important game for both teams. One thing the Saints and the Buccaneers have in common is that neither has lost back-to-back games this season. That will change on Sunday. Someone is really going to lose momentum in a big way. Neither can afford a loss. If the Buccaneers win, it will be a surprise to a lot of folks, as the odds makers have them greater than a touchdown underdog. Also, Peter Kane of SI doesn't think it will be close. So if Raheem Morris thinks his team is going to win the NFC South, he needs to go Belichick on someone else besides the local type and gripers. He better go Belichick on the Saints. And while he's at it, he might suggest that Freeman go Brady on the Saints. That would be a thumbs up, but it won't be, as you know how New Orleans can rebound off a bone-crushing defeat. Saints 42, Buccaneers 20. At 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox, it's Atlanta at Indianapolis. It will be the Michael Turner show on Sunday as the bowling ball type running back will rush for more than 100 yards in a game for the 5th time this season. Turner has to be foaming at the mouth for his chance to run against a banged-up Colts defense, and is on pace for another 1,300-yard season. Though Atlanta is tops in the NFL with a league-leading 5 turnovers inside the red zone, they shouldn't have to worry about adding to that total since Indianapolis has experienced trouble moving the chains this season. The Falcons haven't had that problem, converting 45.7% of their third downs, which ranks 6th in the NFL and 3rd in the NFC. Falcons 30, Colts 17. At 12 o'clock Central Time on CBS, it's Miami at Kansas City. Even though the Chiefs have stated that they are a running team in the past, they also like to throw the ball as well. With Dwayne Bowe, Steve Reston, and Jonathan Baldwin, Kansas City has a very talented group of wideouts, and the Dolphins secondary will have their hands full on Sunday. I see this game being closer than most people would think, considering that the Dolphins have been close in many of their games up to this point, but in the end the Chiefs will be too much for them at home. Miami will have to wait at least one more week before they notch their first victory of the 2011 through 2012 NFL regular season schedule. Chiefs 21, Dolphins 13. At 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox, it's San Francisco at Washington. In a league driven by quarterbacks, the Redskins continue to struggle under center with veteran journeyman John Beck now the main man ahead of Rex Grossman. While Smith hasn't had to be outstanding in San Francisco, Washington has been forced to rely on their quarterbacks perhaps for more than they are capable of doing, and it has really hurt the team during 3 straight losses. While the Redskins have been decent against the pass, they have allowed an average of 120.4 yards per game on the ground and will need to be much better to have any sportsbook's chance against Gore and the 49ers attack. So with Gore averaging 4.8 yards per carry with 5 touchdowns and Smith throwing for 1,267 yards and 9 touchdowns while limiting his mistakes, the offense is finally rising closer to the level of a defense that has been very strong the past couple of seasons, particularly against the run. The 49ers have done an excellent job of forcing turnovers while limiting their own. And that will be part of the key to getting another win this Sunday. 49ers 22, Redskins 16. At 12 o'clock Central Time on CBS, it's Cleveland at Houston. The Houston Texans have the AFC South lined up for the taking. They just need to avoid the disastrous second half of the regular season that has gotten them in the past. The Texans have never made the playoffs since joining the NFL in 2002 and went 2-8 down the stretch last season after a promising start. 5-3 start in 2009 through 2010 did not result in a playoff berth either. But now Houston has the luxury of playing a division where the Indianapolis Colts are winless and the Jacksonville Jaguars are among the worst teams in the AFC. All-Pro wide receiver Andre Johnson could be back from an injured hamstring when Houston hosts the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. The Browns are the lone AFC North team with a losing record and have totaled 107 points this season, tied for the second fewest in the AFC. Foster's running will eventually open up the passing lanes for Schaub. Texans 28, Browns 10. At 3:05 Central Time on CBS, it's Denver at Oakland. The Oakland-Denver rivalry has had playoff and division title implications many times over the years, and Oakland has controlled recent history. Now, with the Raiders very competitive in the AFC West for the first time in several years, another win over their hated rivals would add some sweetness to this burgeoning season. They're also looking to 2 former Bengals to infuse new life into their offense. Meanwhile, Denver is just looking to right the ship and get back in the open race in the division. The team might be helped with the possible return of its leading rusher. Oakland has won the last 4 games against Denver, including a 23-20 win over the Broncos earlier this year. A win will give Oakland the season sweep for 2 straight years, which would be the first time either team would do that in this series since Denver in 2005 through 2006. With the Raiders hosting the Broncos, the latest NFL odds show that Oakland is favored by 8.5 points and the total posted at 42.5 points. So I'll take it anyway. Raiders 42, Broncos 34. At 3:05 Central Time on CBS, it's Cincinnati at Tennessee. Without a consistent running game, the Titans must turn to veteran quarterback Matt Hasselbeck, who threw for 224 yards against Indianapolis in spite of the offense having 4 3-and-outs. Tennessee is 3-1 in 4 home games, while the Bengals are matching 3-1 on the road. With Benson back, the Bengals have a decided statistical edge in the running game, as they'll be facing a Tennessee unit that's just 27th in the league and allowing 129.3 yards per week. The Bengals have a few advantages on paper, but truth be told, neither team has done much against a big-time opponent. Bengals 20, Titans 17. At 3:15 Central Time on Fox, it's the Giants of New York at New England. This Super Bowl rematch may turn out more like the 2007 regular season meeting between these two teams. An all-out shootout in which Brady and Manning combined for over 600 yards and 6 touchdowns, as opposed to the defensively oriented nail-biter that took place in Arizona. Both quarterbacks will have their moments, as will a Giants defense that has the potential to disrupt New England's aerial assault with its pressure. The offenses should have their say in the end, however, if that's indeed the case. The Patriots' better balance on that side of the ball and sustained success at home could be the determining factors in a hard-fought contest that won't have a shortage of thrills. Patriots 35, Giants 31. At 3:15 Central Time on Fox, it's St. Louis at Arizona. Two teams with NFC West title hopes instead meet 9 weeks into the regular season trying to get out of the division's basement. Momentum could be on St. Louis' side after last weekend's big win, but as noted above, the Cardinals have had the Rams' number over the past few years. Both teams have questions under center due to injury. The Rams and Cardinals both give up their fair share of points, and a shootout could favor the hosting club. Cardinals 17, Rams 13. At 3:15 Central Time on Fox, it's Green Bay at San Diego. There will be plenty of odd turnouts during the Halloween weekend, and the tricks will carry over into the first month of November. The Chargers should have been on a 5-game winning streak and seated cozily atop the AFC West, but instead blew chances of prevailing against the Jets and the Chiefs. Rivers came up short in both sequences, and nothing but a win over the league's best team can bring him back in good spirits with the fans and the beat writers. San Diego has the luxury of playing in its own backyard, but it will be a fight to the finish for a Chargers team that has been in a dire need of a win. Packers 26, Chargers 21. At 7:20 Central Time on NBC, it's Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Sunday Night Football. The Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore Ravens have developed one of the NFL's fiercest rivalries, and the two have found themselves in several highly competitive and physical matchups over the past few seasons. There was little drama in their season opener in Baltimore, however, as the Steelers were handed a humiliating loss. Many were ready to write off the defending AFC champions at that point, but they regrouped and now own the AFC's best record. Pittsburgh looks to win its 5th straight and exact some revenge for the lopsided opening loss on Sunday Night Football when they host a Ravens team that has been starting to regress over the past few weeks. Steelers 39, Ravens 32. And at 7:30 Central Time on ESPN, it's Monday Night Football between the Chicago Bears at the Philadelphia Eagles. A year ago when Philadelphia was gearing up to face the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field, each team was coming off a 3-game winning streak, and Michael Vick was playing out of his mind, while the preview story on ESPN.com noted that the Eagles are suddenly looking like a Super Bowl contender. That was supposed to be the case this year too, at least the Super Bowl contender part. Instead, Philadelphia stumbled early on this season, losing 4 games in a row during a 1-4 start despite having high hopes this season. They have made some strides since then, winning their last 2, but to say the Eagles are looking like a Super Bowl contender is still premature. First, they are going to need to start consistently looking like the NFC East division contenders. A win against the Bears on Monday Night Football this week could go a long way towards establishing that for Philadelphia. The Eagles are 3-4 and coming off perhaps their best game of the season, a 34-7 romp over the fellow NFC East team Dallas Cowboys. Running back LaShawn McCoy looked like a Pro Bowler in that game, rushing for 185 yards and 2 touchdowns on 30 carries. It was Philadelphia's 2nd consecutive win over a division foe, and that is the real version of the 2011 through 2012 Eagles, and the version we saw during the 4-game losing streak was an aberration, then the Eagles are indeed NFC East contenders, and then they might yet be a Super Bowl contender still. Philadelphia is leading the league in rushing with a 179.9 yards per game average. Philadelphia is also first in total offense at 449.3 yards per game, a category in which the Bears' defense is ranked 23rd, allowing an average of 380.6 yards per game. McCoy has rushed for 754 yards and 8 touchdowns, and Jeremy Maclin leads the Eagles in receptions with 40 catches for 543 yards. If the Eagles play as well all around as they did against Dallas, I see no reason they don't win this one and extend their current winning streak to 3 games and get back to .500. Eagles 30, Bears 7. And that concludes my 2011 through 2012 NFL regular season schedule, Week 9 picks. Thanks for tuning in this week. Enjoy it.